Hi everyone, I am here with Bill Gates today, and we will be packing backpacks to donate to students in need. Are you ready to get started?
Fantastic. I don't know how good I am, but I'll do my best.
And while we're packing these, I have some questions for you. Let's get started. First question is, how can young people make more of an impact on global issues?
Well, there's a lot of stuff out there now to learn about what life is like in poor countries. So, we ought to be able to have more empathy towards people, more thinking about how to drive equality. I don't know, can people get out there and actually visit? Once you get out and see things like malaria and malnutrition, kind of drives you to get involved. I guess we're putting like one of everything in here.
Oh yeah, I got some pencils over here. Can you make sure they have a sharpener too?
Ooh, whoa.
This looks kind of cool. It's like an elephant stapler.
Nice.
I think they'll like this. Another question is, how can young people best advocate for issues like climate change?
Well, first thing is, to realize their voice is very important. The scale of what we need to do is kind of mind-blowing. Their entire lifetime, we're going to be building the new infrastructure and, changing a lot of the energy system, transport system, the way we heat and cool buildings, the way we make food. So the first thing is to get smart about the issue, then to think about the politics of it. We need, both parties to get engaged, hopefully, and they've got a political voice. They can get out and demonstrate, and they can even pick their career, making sure they work for a company that's very engaged. I've known scientists who actually picked the area to study because they wanted to get involved with climate change. So, 10 years ago, nobody studied cement and steel because it felt like, hey, those are solved problems. But now we need to completely change the way we make those things. So the fact that there's all this smart young kids that have said, okay, we'll learn that, we'll get involved in that because of climate, it's starting to make a huge difference. A little protractor, I don't know how much people use these.
Do you know what this is?
No.
It's like a little poppy thing.
Is this just if you're nervous, you just...
Yeah, I feel like I've seen these before. Just use this to like pop back and forth.
Oh, maybe you could play tic-tac-toe by pushing them in. No, I don't think so. I think it's just fidgeting.
Well, that's kind of fun.
And what are these?
Oh, these are pencil sharpeners.
Oh, of course, colored pencil sharpeners.
They have like little animals on them.
Oh, those are erasers.
I'm gonna give this student a penguin. If you get this backpack and you're watching this, I hope you like penguins. What are some of the biggest reasons you have hope for the future?
Well, the general trend for humanity has been mostly upwards. We used to have, most kids would die when they were young. We couldn't grow enough food. And these last several hundred years, even though we've invented a lot of stuff that's scary, like new weapons, we've also expanded the average lifespan to over 70 years. Half the globe is literate now, which would be viewed as a miracle. By objective measures, we'd rather be alive now than ever before. Now, when you invent things like using hydrocarbons so you have climate change, then you have to solve the problems you create. You got to make sure that your weapons, like nuclear weapons, don't get used. But overall, life is far, far, far better today. Particularly if you zoom out and don't just think about the last 3 to 5 years. You say, okay, 50 years ago, were women given equal opportunity? Did we respect people from different backgrounds as much as we do today? So if young people keep being hopeful and innovative like previous generations, I think the best years for humanity are ahead of us.
What a time to be alive. Oh, sketchbooks. I hope this student's an artist. Do you draw at all?
I'm not very good at it. I played a game, Telestrations, where you have to try and draw things. So it's kind of funny when people misinterpret what you thought you were drawing.
Okay, so I'm curious, how much time do you put into the Gates Foundation and helping other people?
Yeah, I'm super lucky. You could call it my second career because I retired from Microsoft and made that my full-time job. There's a lot I didn't know about HIV, malaria, health systems in poor countries. Hadn't been around Africa to see what was going on there. And now, I'm enjoying it as much as I did working on software. I get to travel the world, meet with great scientists, go out and see which of our ideas are really working. I was on a farm in Kenya, and we had these new chickens that are bigger and healthier. And I was kind of amazed that you go from a conference room talking about better chickens, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, there's hundreds of millions of improved chickens, and kids are getting to eat eggs, and women are making more money off their farms. It's really cool when it comes together. Like getting the childhood death rate cut in half is probably the thing we're most proud of. It's full time, still a little bit of work with Microsoft, and then my work on climate change. But global health is where I've had the most fulfillment this last decade.
How big are the chickens now?
They are big. I mean, they made me pick them up. It's a little scary.
Oh.
They're really big like this. And the eggs, I was talking about how many more eggs they lay, but they said, no, you're really missing it. The eggs are also bigger. And then we use vaccines for chickens. That seems strange, but so that their chickens live a lot longer, because they invest in feeding them and everything, and you want them to lay a lot of eggs. And these women were so passionate about the chickens.
So I know this year the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is focusing a lot on empowering the youth with math. So why do you think it's such an important topic to focus on?
Well, math, sadly, people get discouraged that, that's just for a few of the kids, not for us. And yet math is the way we understand the world. How tall are people? How is healthcare improving? How do we spend the US budget? What's the best way of organizing a factory or designing a house? All these things are mathematical. And it's so wonderful to be able to understand the world. And yet, if you get discouraged with math and you decide it's for other people, you never get that opportunity. And so making it fun and interesting, so you're not going over people's heads or you're not boring them with stuff they already know. It seems like there's a real promise there. If you had, a personal tutor, they're always trying to say, you're getting bored, let me, try to come up with better examples. I think we can supplement teachers, have much better curriculum, even use this latest AI stuff to kind of engage different students. So ideally, everybody would like algebra and have a basic understanding of algebra. And statistics, I'd say. Not everybody needs calculus, but at least statistics and algebra.
I actually really enjoyed statistics in high school. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, statistics can be made really interesting. Like, what's the variance in height, or, why a batting average has, gone from being widely dispersed to now very clustered. You can find topics people are interested in. And I'm always interested in health and, what do people die of and which cancers, and it's all kind of statistics.
I know my girlfriend recently started a channel and she does a lot of math on there. So,
oh, wow.
So I feel like a lot of our viewers enjoy math.
Oh, that's great to hear. If you can make math fun, you'll end up actually surprising yourself by how much you use it to understand the world. Oh, we did a great job packing these backpacks.
Oh yeah, we only have a couple more. I think we're running out of supplies over here. What are some potential steps we need to take to be prepared for pandemics in the future?
Pandemics don't come up very often. You'll have fires often enough, forest fires, building fires. You'll have earthquakes often enough that people have in mind. So, when you build a building, you make sure it's strong. Significant pandemics are kind of less than one per generation, or at least they have been. And so the idea of, okay, let's stay aware, let's have people trained for this, what tools to use, how do you get the diagnostics ready? We were pretty inept. In fact, the countries that did the best were ones that another form of SARS-CoV-1 had come along, and they'd had to worry about that, even though that one was well contained. So we just need a dedicated team. We need to practice. We do fire drills, we do earthquake drills. Now, at least the public health people, they need to do drills where they're saying, okay, if there's an outbreak, how do we get the diagnostics? How do we communicate with the public? How do we work with other countries and the vaccine makers? And are we inventing new tools using the latest biology for these things? And so, now some people are just saying, let's forget about the pandemic, it's gone. But it's not the last one. So keeping it in mind for people and getting global cooperation, which is tough. You got wars going on, US and China aren't working that well together, and yet, all of humanity's in this together. It's kind of us versus the bugs. And last time, if you the score is sort of bugs 1, human 0 in terms of how well we manage the situation. Like to do a little better next time around.
How can gene therapy potentially cure diseases like HIV and sickle disease?
Well, gene therapy is kind of this miraculous thing that you can literally go in and change how the cells work with that, fundamental sort of software program that drives them. And of course, we understand genetically what happens with sickle cell, where your red blood cells are kind of misshapen. There are actually cases where for millions of dollars, people were cured of sickle cell. But unless we can make it like 1,000 times cheaper, like a few $1,000s, even the US, that's too much money. But particularly in Africa, where you have most of the sickle cell, you need a pretty cheap solution. And so that we've got, some incredible scientists saying, okay, we just want to make it one shot, and there's something in there that goes out to the right parts of the body, and then there's a payload that goes in and sort of edits the software and make sure it's not editing anything except exactly what you're trying to target, no off-target things. And it really does look like, if we keep with it for the next decade, that we'll have this single-shot cure, both for sickle cell and for HIV. So that's it's the kind of dream our foundation can help fund, because we have 10 years and the impact would be great. And so surprisingly good progress so far on that ambitious agenda.
I'm actually learning a lot right now. I didn't know much about gene therapy before this.
All right, I think we're going good on our packing up here.
Wow. Yeah, we're almost done with this.
Put the last set of crayons in there.
This backpack's gonna be really full. So what steps need to be done to completely eradicate polio?
We are so close. The sad thing is, as long as you have any cases, it can spread back if you don't vaccinate the kids, and you can have thousands or hundreds of thousands of cases. So we have to get like 95% of the kids vaccinated. We only have 2 countries where we've never gotten to 0, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And so even though there's a lot of turmoil there, we think we can get these vaccines. It's just a couple of drops that we give the kids. It's an oral vaccine, and we are so close. We like to say we're that close. We've gone from 200,000 kids being paralyzed every year to less than 100 now. 0 is a magic number. If you get there, then that's it. It's like smallpox. Smallpox is the only disease that we've completely gotten rid of. And so with luck, in the next 2 or 3 years, polio will become the second.
So I'm curious, Bill, what do you do in your free time?
I like to watch YouTube videos. If I sit down and, ask about how various things are made, or the science of different things, that, I can find my time. I just clicking on new things. I like to take courses, even though it's weird, I'm a dropout, but I've probably taken more college courses than you generally think of a dropout. So the fact there's so much great information online, and things can be explained. And then I have to learn about farming, because for the foundation, helping poor farmers is a big thing. I have to learn about the latest in disease, and it's fun. I'm kind of a full-time student, and it's never been a better time to be a curious person. All that information is there in such an easy to learn form.
Have you ever watched this really cool channel called ZHC?
Not much. Should I watch it more?
Yeah, I think you should check it out. You might like it.
All right, fantastic. I'm probably above your age demographic, but I'm sure I'll love it.
Hey guys, Bill Gates watches our videos.
You bet. You bet.
Oh, there's a Microsoft Surface Go 3.
Oh man, those things are nice and small. I'm gonna put one of those in my backpack.
I think we're about done packing.
Yeah, that was fun.
And the cool thing is that we're gonna make another 100 of these backpacks, and these are gonna be donated to students in need. Well, thank you so much, Bill, for doing this with me, and it was fun packing backpacks with you. I think we both did a great job.
I love your creativity. We did a great job. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, so we are now here at Bastrop Middle School, and this is Carol. She is a 7th grade math teacher. We have 100 backpacks filled with school supplies to donate. I hope the students can put these supplies to good use.
Thank you so very much for supporting our community.
Shout out to, obviously, Bill Gates and his team for working with us on this, and yeah.
Let's break.
We got so cute. No finishing touches. I think the win is.
You're great. You played better.